Welcome to the Unveiling Shadows Podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly Mosby. Join me as I dive into powerful stories of resilience and strength. In each episode, I sit down with guests who have faced similar journeys of coercive control, financial manipulation, and personal invasion. Together, we uncover the shadows, share our experiences, and inspire others to reclaim their lives. Tune in, listen, and be a part of the community that stands tall against the forces that seek to control us. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Unveiling Shadows. I'm your host, Kimberly Mosby. Today, we have a returning guest, Gesmay from the UK. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Kimberly, for having me back. And nice to see you. And thank you very much. I say it again for you doing this amazing work that you are doing and creating awareness. We want to create change because we have to make this happen. Because we cannot carry on the way it's been. There's too much suffering, too much pain, too much negativity.
Yeah.
And we have to bring this program to an end because it's not sustainable. The UK is in such a mess.
Yeah, it's like Operation Chaos.
Yes, it is. That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Do you want to give us an update on what has happened since our last discussion about 8 months ago?
Yeah. Since 8 months ago, it's amazing. It's gone so quickly and so much has happened that I don't know where to start, but we're going to start somewhere. Basically, the last time I spoke to you now, I don't know if you were aware that I was part of this legal case taking them, the country, to the High Court of the UK, which is the highest court in the UK in London.
Okay.
And our case has been 2 years and it's been playing up and down. 1 minute we are the higher court, lower court. 1 minute their experts has dropped out. The next minute we're not allowed to bring witnesses. It's been going on and on. The next minute we're not supposed to be present in the court. I've heard such thing before. And so we have to stay at home and do it online, and we refuse because if we are being tortured 24 hours in our homes every day, 365 days, and how are you going to have a court where you can speak, where you can put your case forward? So we refuse. So it's now the only options we have is to go to the European Court, which is going to happen in the next 2 days.
Good. Yeah. So it's coming up here for you guys. Good.
Yes, we have to go because we've been also motivated. I'm not sure if you're aware, we've been motivated by the case going on in France. The people in France has taken the military, the government, the same thing as us, has been taking them to court. And this case has been going on. I speak French and I'm going to research and find out how is the case going on because this will be good for all of us. It's the same thing going on there. Stalking, torture, doing all this stuff. It's crazy. It's crazy what is going on, how they treating people, how they experimenting on people without their consent. Is for me, for example, I was just living my life, to be honest with you. I believe I'm happy living my life the way I choose. The next minute, I know I made a complaint. This is how it started. I made a complaint to my housing where I live and challenging them for their bad management, criminality, suffering that people is going, is kind of like disrespecting my peace. And the next minute, I know I've been followed. I used to see people start following me. And then I'm very aware of my environment. And then when I stop and get the police to get the little that I know at that time, that is the police program, and got them to kind of help me. And then when I don't give me any reference number, when I called and they say nothing has been registered. This is, it start clicking to something more sinister going on than a little something going on. This is how it started with me. And then when I met Antonia, I met a friend and we becoming close. It's been great. It's been amazing because she's brilliant. And then I started opening my mind to, because I'm not technology minded, started opening my mind to this technology that has been abusing us, abusing me. I'm covered in injuries all over my body, every injuries I have. But because of my personality, because of my character, when I go out, people don't see me that, like a victim or abuse. I don't like the word victim anyway, to see me as an abused person, because I keep my, I keep my wits and go out and do my things. But I'm totally abused. I'm really baffled. Some days I wake up, it's like a nightmare. It's like being on a very nasty movie. Yeah. So we'll be finding out very soon about what is going on in France, because this will be good for the whole world, because the French are normally together, They've started their case. The case is in court. It started about 6 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Keep us updated on that.
Yes. It's important that we are aware.
Yeah. So how is it going there? I think it's getting more and more overt, isn't it?
In the UK?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you, it's been really, really crazy, because obviously since the court case, we especially been targeted so much, the people who is in the group litigation.
Yeah.
And it's been really crazy. If I tell you, abuse every day. As soon as you leave the house, there will be the police cars, ambulance, fire brigades, and all the miscreants. And then plus we have a fleet of motorbikes. They're all Indians. I think they flew them all the way from India for these notorious activities. And they will follow you everywhere I go. If I live where I live, I go to another town, I go to another place, they there. And there are times when I've been followed by ambulance and they want to kidnap me, And I got to the building and they will be there parking in front of the building and then flashing, And it's been crazy. And obviously at my accommodation, at my place where I live, it's still ongoing. And so this will be part of the litigation, because a lot of my thing has been taken, and myself, I don't know how much more they've been taken, but thanks God, I was looking in photographs this morning, for example. I saw a lot of my thing that I've photographed, and loads. It's unbelievable. And sometimes I will come, there will be, things has been moved. And for example, I was attacked. I think it was in May. And on one day I was attacked twice. In a period of 1 hour, I was attacked by 2 different men. One was in a balaclava. And then I was walking home. And the next thing, he jumped on me and basically snapped my bag and my thing went flying. What was interesting in all this is there were people around. It was the market area and there were the traders or whatever. And everybody looked the other way. You know what I mean? You feel as if you are in a mafia, like you feel as if you are in one of those mafia
movies.
Yeah. And then anyway, I didn't react because obviously they want me to react so Poco can get involved. So I just pick up my things and put it in my bag. But I was keeping an eye on him because at that stage, I don't know what else can he do. He could have a knife. He could have, an instrument and hurt me or whatever. So I went home. And then I returned maybe half an hour later or 1 hour later. I think it was like 3/4 of an hour. I returned to go to the shop. And this guy who is a trader, and I was walking, minding my own business. The next things I know, he squeezed me and pushed me into like in the bushy area. So my trolley that I have with me, my trolley wheel, the wheel of the trolley was flying. So I couldn't find the wheel at that stage. I didn't give thing about the trolley. I was more aware or taking care of my well-being.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't find that trolley. And strangely enough, I returned home one day and I saw the bags has been moved. And then what do I find in the bag? The wheel of the trolley. Isn't that strange?
Wow.
It's
Criminal.
like dealing with the deepest evil psychopaths.
Yes.
Like they sick in their head.
Yep.
And what is interesting is the building where I live is for the over 60s residents.
Okay.
And can you just imagine those psychopaths influencing and making decisions on vulnerable people?
Right.
It's scary, you know. So I saw this trolley and another thing is there was a post, very important post that I posted because I want my case to go forward. I posted to an organization and I pay for the next day delivery. I pay premium for the next day delivery. That has been a drama. You can write a book about it because this package ended up in the north of England in a place. And then when I went to the post office, obviously I always followed wherever I go and then track the thing. And then when I called the people where the packet was going to be, this is an official important building. Yeah. And the guy even himself was baffled. And he said, no package from you has come here. And then he said to me, but what is strange about this? The postman knows exactly the setting, our setting, because it's an important and busy office. He said it's the setting of our building and no postman has come here and delivered. So I went get back to them. They're trying to bully me, telling me because the Royal Mail, which is the main, official mail of the United Kingdom, is rogue. They've gone rogue. And they intercepting with people's mail. And my mail has been very much intercepted. Official document has changed. Basically, they took my document and gave it. And then even my insurance, my household insurance, which I've taken. And then when I find out my insurance condition has changed, and then I could see the package being open, and then you could see anyway, it's been tampered with, open, and then it's put sellotape on it, or it's signed on top, the manager signed for it. It's crazy. It's really crazy. If you go that, and I can imagine so many people doesn't understand or doesn't want to believe it because it's out of order. No normal circumstances, no normal people can even think that this kind of crazy thing can happen because you are playing with people's life. You know, the humanity has gone to the lowest grade of all. It's disappeared, in fact. Human rights is been degraded to nothing. Respect is good. No, I don't blame them. Nobody trusts anybody. You know, I was brought up in a very safe environment where trust was our key, how we live our life. And even myself now, I have to be careful. Obviously, my grandmother used to say, be careful. Do not allow people to change you because you could be in a position where you'll start getting obsessed, you know. So you have to be careful. You have to use your mind. You have to use your common sense. You have to use your intuitions so that you don't allow them to change you.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Which is part of what
our
this is.
main thing at the moment is to have this case to the European court. They're not the best. They don't have that good of a reputation. You can hear going on.
Yeah, I can hear it. Criminals.
And it's this is every day. Sometimes they do crazy things. And the main important thing is we cannot stay the way we are. It's not sustainable. And I wake up, for example, this morning I say, no, God, you have to change that. You have to put an end to all this. And because if we don't, the country is in a total mess because they're acting with impunity, you know, and the children I always think about the children. I was a school teacher, so I always think about the children. And the children has no future, doom and gloom. And you can't imagine now it's holiday here in the UK, summer holiday.
Okay.
You know, all week I have children stalking me. This morning I went shopping. You know, I have youngsters, 12 years old, 11 years old, younger than that. You know, last week I have one boy, maybe about 8. And then I was wearing my badge. And then he saw the badge and he told me, oh, he was very excited. And he said, targeted individuals. And then he said, you know, I'm a member of the gang stalking group. He was very proud that he was a member. And I stopped him and I said, let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
And then he said he's a member, but he's lost his PIN. And then he needs to find his PIN. And then his friends came. Obviously, they were all together. And his friend was stopping him from talking. And I was telling him, if your mother must be very proud of you, isn't it? And I was telling him about curse. I said, do you know what is curse? Curse never leave you. It goes from generation to generation.
Yep.
And then he was telling me, oh, you cursing me? I said, no, I'm not cursing you. You cursing yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And then his friend was coming with aggressiveness and wanted to change the narrative of the conversation. And then I was telling them, listen, you haven't even started life. You already doom and gloom.
Yep.
It's, you know, like there's a lot for you to absorb and a lot of you have the opportunity to create a better life, a change to yourself. But this badge really work, you know. I have adults, I have many people asking me, what is it? You'll be amazed. Maybe I've been told only 3% of the UK population, which is, I think it's 67 or 68 million people now. Only 3% is aware of this program.
Wow.
It's very sad, isn't it? It's very sad.
Yep.
And the stalking is crazy. The stalking is crazy. Basically, wherever I go, and there are people, the list of stalkers, they are in vehicles, they are in vans, they are in lorries, like, for example, Thames Water, supermarkets, even the security guard at the supermarkets are on it. The staff are on it. We've written to one of the supermarkets to tell them what's going on. He said they will investigate, and that's a year and a half ago. You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Just get the big picture of it. How can it be normal? There's no blessings coming to the country. Not at all. For what I know, God cannot bless the country. Is too deep level, and they've been doing it for so long. I keep meeting people now who's been on this program. I met this lady the other day who's been on this program for 23 years. 23 years. And if you see injuries, it will break any human being, normal human being, you know. And also they've been injecting her. They've been, this terrible, bright, intelligent lady, you know, to find yourself like you being kidnapped.
Yeah.
I feel as if I've been kidnapped. You know, that's the way I feel.
Yeah.
And, you know, and basically I've been used as an experiment, and I see it as genocidal because there's been a lot of deaths, people who can't take it, and without my consent. And we're supposed to be so-called democracy and civilizations, but I don't see it. You know, even the church is on it. The church where people go for comfort, you know, go for when they have things not right in their lives, they go for this comfort. They on it, you know. I went for my mother's anniversary, which I celebrate every year, the 30th of June. And this year I went to a cathedral, famous cathedral, St. Paul's Cathedral in London. I don't know if you heard about it, but it's one of the most amazing architecture. And I'll take pictures from the outside. This time I said, I'm going in. This is where I'm going to go this year. And, you know, this stalker came. I sat in the first seat They did the sitting like in circles, arrange it very nicely. The next things I know, I've been elbowed in my private moment. He came and sat right next to me so that his elbow can elbow me.
Wow.
And the
That is
next day, the
that is
next day,
hor-
the same man appeared the next day when I went shopping. It's as crazy as that. It's as crazy as that.
but it just is like, I don't like, these people are disgusting. Like, that's, the only thing that I can say. Like, and they have sold their souls, and the day for them to repent is over. Like, they're done, and it's really sad to know that another person would do this to an elderly person, or anyone for that matter. Like those,
Anyone, yeah.
yeah. And those kids that are brought into that thinking they're doing a good thing, like, that's child abuse, in my opinion.
That's what my friend said. Antonia said the same thing. She said, this is child abuse. It is child abuse. I agree 100%.
Yeah.
But there is so much abuse going on to children. So much is not only to children, to adults. There's been some women being found in rivers and sea in the UK
Wow.
lately or recently. They're all black. They're all black women. And we know that this is part of this program, and they're not investigating. Nobody's investigating it. There was one that was two sisters and the mother found in the sea on the coast in the UK. Some been found in the rivers,
Wow.
It's too cruel. It's too satanic.
Yep.
And this mental health is gone out of control. I don't know what is it in America, but this mental health is their tool, but this is how they capitalize, because they monetize on this. Because people ask me, how do they make the money? Because when I told them, do you know this program is worth in the UK 100 billion pounds per year? And they say, how do they make the money? How do they make the money? Mental health.
Yep.
And 70% of the people that they institutionalize are black, is a target. And I find out that each person that they put into those institutions, because they all private
Yep.
business,
Yep.
and it's 300, do you max 350,000 pounds per person per year.
Wow.
And now UK is becoming the mental health capital of the world. And according to statistics that I read, 67,000. It's a small country, 68 million people. 67,000 people per year, they diagnose mental. And now we have another problem, because everything, it develops into something else. The problem is, I was reading a charity report the other day, between the age of 24 to 45, which is the main working age, and thousands of them cannot work because they've been injured. They're incapacitated. They cannot work. Can you imagine where it's taking the country? And who fund all these nefarious activities? The taxpayers.
Yep.
And they don't even know that they are supporting criminality. The taxpayers are funding this criminal activities that is going on.
Yeah, they try to get you incarcerated or institutionalized to discredit you. And then when you're in there, they make money off of you.
Yeah, because... yes, I'm glad you said that, because I did a DSA, data access, to my doctor. I'm so pleased I did it. I didn't even know what they've written on my thing. They were trying with me because I made the complaint. So the next thing, Popo went to my housing where I live, and together they contacted my doctor without my consent. And then, thanks goodness, those people has their common sense on their head. They say there's nothing wrong with me, and they haven't seen anything that put me into that category. It's crazy. Can you imagine how many people they've hurt? How many people that they have abused? and hurt. Yeah, it's too crazy. And one day I came home and there was a note pushed under my door. And then that was from the mental health department telling me that I missed my appointment.
What?
It's all psychology. It's crazy. Can you imagine if you don't use your head, you'll panic, you'll do, this is when they want you to get you. And when I contacted my doctor and asking her, and I wrote to her, in fact, to ask her what is going on, why did I receive? She said she doesn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I wrote to the hospital, I put it in writing. I wrote to the hospital and tell them, you have done that. Can you please, I'm doing my data access. Until today, I haven't got, according to the law in England, you have 1 month to, for you to comply to this data access.
Yeah. Don't comply or consent to anything because these people are a bunch of criminals.
No, I know them too well. Thanks goodness God is safeguarding me, is guiding me and protecting me. Is like, I have no bad intention for anybody and nobody has that right over me. And nobody, I didn't give permission, consent, because everything in this country run by consent. Because so many people has made sacrifices for us to have liberty, for us to have freedom, for us to have the human rights, which is dotted 1998 Acts of Human Rights, that they behave like gangsters, rogue traders.
Monsters. Yeah.
Yeah. I call them rogue traders.
Yeah, they're criminals and they are monsters.
And what is interesting, I don't know about you, how you feel, but the people that is associated with this criminality, it looks as if England has becoming a country of gang stalking.
Yeah.
Everybody, and some people, that's the main source of income. And men and women are at it. Men, women, children, pensioners, elderly people, ex-police, ex-army. It's crazy. Gangsters, it's like, this is the main source of income. They get paid £20 apparently, £20, or some people get paid £30 per picture and per photo of you. So they circle you, they harass you, they terrorize you, they hunt you down like a pack of wolves. It's so disgusting that sometimes I feel I want to vomit. I feel sick.
Yep. I feel the same way. It's psychopathic. And I don't think that their brains can be fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people also, because I have people asking me questions, believing that the people who are doing those things are the low life and whatever. But anybody can be a stalker. Do you know, I went to the internet cafe 3 weeks ago, and guess who was stalking me? The solicitors next door. The solicitor next door was stalking me. And I think, I want to be sick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now, even when you go to the library, I don't know, your library is for the public in America, but in England, it's open to the public, where you go and get books, you go and get reference, you use space for you to work and whatever. We stopped going to library for that reason, And I started going back about a month ago because I had something, I'm working on my cookery book. And I went to the library. I said, as if I never stopped going there. People come with their families, come in and take selfie. Who takes selfie in the library? This morning I was in the supermarket. This woman came with her baby and her phone obviously positioned on me. And then suddenly she was taking selfie with the food shelves. Isn't that potty and crazy?
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't do it. And I think they know that because this is like a behavioral modification where they do try to change your behavior. And so you got to really know who you are in order to fight back.
Yes.
And stay motivated. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's poverty going on in the UK right now.
Yeah.
So many people, everything has gone up. So many people basically are in dire state, and there's homelessness has really rocketed, and people cannot even feed. I was reading, some people cannot even feed their children. And some families, the food that the kids got at school is the main meal. But billions is being squandered to criminals, to those activities, and they don't even know that they are supporting this, They are supporting this very dangerous program, very dangerous program.
Yep. That's what the goal is, to make you broke, homeless, and, discredited so that you don't have, any credibility. Let's just say that they try to take our credibility away, and that's just not going to happen.
I'm staying with God.
Yeah.
I'm just staying with God. Nobody can take they can try, and they have tried. Don't trust me. They've tried everything to take my life. They've tried everything. Even when I come home, even white powder has been spread on the kitchen surface. You know what I mean? Who does that?
Yep.
Who does that to somebody that hasn't done anything to you? God cannot let this happen. They have to be punished.
Yes.
They have to be punished. And I've never advocate for, how do you call it? How do you say when people is done something, a murder, criminal, they put them to death.
Execute them? They need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I even thought about it. Can I do that as a Christian? It's kind of, they cannot get, because otherwise the country is already a mess. The country is already broken down. The young generation has no future. People are so demented. It's so sad when you look at it. But those people they cannot carry on with that. It's like, they cannot carry on with that. And now I'm finding out that the guy who is doing the gang stalking business, obviously, the founder of the gang stalking business in the UK, is also in charge of the mental health.
Wow.
It's crazy. People are being so abused. It's so sad. I use that word all the time now. It's so, so sad.
Yeah.
We have to keep praying. I know God is listening. I know this has to come to an end.
Yep.
And I'm looking forward now. In the next 2 days, our case is going to the European Court. We see what's happened there, because then also there is the International Court.
Yeah. I am sending many blessings to you there in the UK, and I'm sending you blessings for a victory on your case.
We need that blessing. Thank you very much. We need that blessing.
Yep.
It's too crazy. We need that blessing. It cannot carry on.
No.
Every day. Sometimes you feel you and I. Sometimes I kind of try and put one in one. I say 1 and 1 makes 2. But I'm looking at the thing now. It looks as if 1 and 1 is making 3. It's just too crazy. And the people where I live is mostly the Black people.
Yeah.
That is stalking me. But the stalkers come from all over the world. They come from, there's a lot of Chinese on it, and they are so cold with it. The Chinese, a lot of Eastern European of all ages, and you have people from Brazil, a lot of Brazilian here in London doing these nefarious activities. There's Indians, lots of Indians. I told you they have a fleet of motorbikes.
Yeah.
That's their main jobs. They go around and hunt people down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sensitivity campaign with their loud motorcycles. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we have, you name it. And a lot of, now I find out all those vehicles that are stalking you, they are fake number plates.
Of course they are.
They fake number plates. Yeah. But so far I have 6 attempted murder on me. And how many attempted hijacking? Yeah. No, I'm not going anywhere. I'm the child of God.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. It's nobody put me on this planet. My family brought me very well. And, I come from a very good, decent human beings, and I cannot let evil hijack me or others, everybody else, that they're trying. We have no idea how many people has committed suicide now.
Yeah.
Because
Because
a
of
lot,
this.
yeah.
Yep.
But according to statistics in the UK, that's one of the main cause of death, suicide. But the majority more men committing suicide than women. Obviously, they do say that men women emotionally stronger. But, men doesn't talk about, problems. Some men, most men doesn't talk about problems. And that's why every time I'm traveling on the train, there will be how do you call it, a message saying like, the train cannot go any further. The train has stopped because there's been, I can't remember now what word do they use on, they don't say accident. They've been something that has happened, and the train can't go any further. And I was trying to say before I knew about this program, and I was thinking, why is it, so many people choose to die that way? A very cruel way of, of leaving the planet or dying or to an extension to your life. Now it all makes sense. And then obviously there's cancer. Obviously with the microwave, cancer is one, and terrible cancer now. That's what you hear, terrible cancer. The people given 2 weeks to live, It's too cruel. It's too criminal, Kimberly. Too much.
Yeah. Yeah, it is too much. They're offing people, and it's a slow kill, and they're hitting people with directed energy weapons and, the voice to skull technology and having people, commit suicide. And none of this is okay. None of it.
No, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Not where I come from. No, it's not okay. No, it's too demonic.
Yes. That is
It's
the
too
word for it.
demonic. Yeah. It's kind of, obviously the Masons is controlling all those narratives. In the ambulance here, I've been told it's them driving them. Because
Yep.
as soon as I leave, as soon as I return, there will be ambulance that circle me and people move out of the way. The other drivers has no clue, no idea what's going on. They move out of the way to let them, believing they're going to save lives. They don't know that they're going to kill people, that they're
Yeah.
going to take life. It's embarrassing.
It is embarrassing.
It's
Yeah.
embarrassing to humanity,
Yeah.
and it's embarrassing to the country. It's generally embarrassing.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's, and this is a question that I like because I do coaching, and it's a question that I like to ask people. What is your legacy? Do you know the majority of people don't even understand the word? And then one guy even tell me that I'm giving him a headache when I ask, what's your legacy? And then rephrase that is, when you leave the planet, because we are passengers here,
Yep.
when we leave, what footsteps have you left behind? What is it that you like people to remember you as?
Yeah.
Then when you put it in that context, then they start thinking, yeah. Because if you have children, you have grandchildren. But I've seen grandmother with their grandchildren doing gun stalking. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense, because when you arrive in a certain time of your life, you're supposed to have wisdom, because you live through life, you learn, you evolve, it's kind of, you're supposed to develop. It's like being like a mature wine or mature cheese, the French will say, and the price, the value become higher, but here it's degrade, because when you think, and when I see them, I say they should be putting their feet up and play and interact with their grandchildren, instead of bringing them, stalking people, causing alarm and distress and death, basically, because not everybody can take it.
Yep.
And when you ask people this question, is like, do you realize what you're doing? Do you realize that you are putting people into very vulnerable situation where they can even take their life? and causing distress and alarm. And how do you feel about that? They are brainless because they have been programmed.
Yeah.
And they only think about that little money.
Well, you couldn't pay me enough to do what they're doing. And, they're making their bed.
Yeah.
And they will sleep in it, and it'll be burning in hell.
Yeah, totally. Because I'm looking at myself. Both my parents have passed now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I said, can you imagine them were still alive and finding out I was doing these nefarious activities. I was gang stalking people. They will be shocked to this because no normal people do that. No matter how much money you offer and somebody can give you, it's kind of, even when I go to my friend, they follow me there. When I leave, even the next door neighbor, which is, most of them are foreigners that has been brought in to do this dirty work.
Yep, immigrants.
And yeah. And then they basically, they'll come and harass, they come and harass. And I got another attack, which I forgot to say. That was 3 weeks ago. And it was early in the morning, about 8:30. I came out of the bus and I slept at my friend's place and I was going home. And this woman, I didn't even realize she was following me. And then when I was going to cross the road, she crossed the road with me and started screaming and shouting. And then she said she's going to call the police. Crazy. Then I said to her, that's the only thing. Normally I don't interact.
Yeah.
But I did tell her, I said, yes, that's a good idea. Call the police. I would love you to do that. And then when she see that, I was ignoring her, I was basically, it's a guru of disempowering people. And she ran in front of me and wanted to trick me. And big crowd early in the morning going to work. Nobody will even look.
Nobody stepped in and said, what are you doing? Nobody.
No.
Wow.
Nobody will step in.
Wow.
This is where we are. It's so deep, very deep level of wickedness, evilness. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, it's got to stop. It will be brought to an end. It will happen this year.
I believe so, Beverly. When I talked to you last time, I was telling my friend and I said, you said that is going to, I said, I totally believe it. I have so much confidence that this has to stop. It has to stop. We cannot even reach Christmas or have a beginning of the new year with the same evilness.
Yeah, I agree. It's stopping this year. And because we're stepping into our power, we're talking about it and we're telling them no. And if anybody on the street thinks that all these ambulances and motorcycles with loud motors is a normal thing, think again, because it's not. It's all a theater.
It is a theater, and a very filthy theater too. It's theater. I love theater. In fact, I go to theaters sometimes to see there's some great plays going on. But this is wickedness. That's an evil theater that only the devil is for the devil, not for us.
Exactly. I agree. You have any advice? Do you have any advice for other?
There's so much to tell people about. A lot of people in the UK are frightened. There's 1 million people on this program in the UK. There's 300,000 in London. And people are frightened to speak. People are frightened in case they say they're mental. And people are frightened in case that they tell them that there's something wrong with them, they're mental, they this, they that. So they stay in isolation. Don't stay in isolation.
Yeah.
Do not stay in isolation. It's the worst thing you want to do because they want you to stay in isolation. What's happened when you're in isolation? They can do whatever they want with you, And I also, one lady that I was in contact with, and she was a lot of negativity going on. And I told her, I know she's smart. I know she's creative. And I told her, use your creativity. Find something that brings you value.
Yeah. And joy.
Nobody is stopping me. I love photography. I love street photography. I love nature. And I'm out doing my photography all the time. And it hasn't been easy. It's been very challenging. I've been working on my new book, my cookery book, vegan book, and
Good.
I'm very excited about it in the next few weeks. Thanks God. It's kind of like, it hasn't been easy because some days I have the idea I'm going to do this, but then when it comes, after you've been targeted and tortured all night on your brain, on your neck,
Yeah.
they hit me on my spine and the back of my thing. My back is always bleeding. All my tops, all my clothes are bloodstained. My bed sheets are bloodstained. It's kind of like I'm constantly bleeding and they hit me back on the same space. And also in September, 2nd of September, I was hit by laser and I fall. And I ended up in the emergency hospital.
Uh-huh.
And I saw the man sitting with his phone. And the next things I know is, to me, the next things I know, I've gone on the floor. And the idea is to demoralize me
Yeah.
but, I was there, I was still doing exercise. I was still doing my yoga, my meditation is the mind, keep your mind busy.
Yeah.
Keep creative and eat well. I find out this is probably number one, is to eat well, eat healthy,
Yep.
keep your maintaining. It's like you maintain your house, you maintain your car. Your body is the first one you need to maintain. Eat healthy. That's one thing for me is my number one, eat healthy and do not allow people to manipulate you. When people say something, don't argue with them. And then for the people out there, when people tell them that they are being targeted or they've been tortured or whatever, and some families, I find out some families even call Popo and have their people sectioned. Do not do that. Please listen. You don't have to believe it, but you have your own mind to make your own decision. Listen to people when they talk, and don't let them, it's kind of believing that there's something wrong with you. But the mental health, they've been building up to that.
Yep.
Now, anybody who says something said, "Oh, you're mental. You're mental." Even the kids. I was on the bus in London and I heard some youngsters coming from school, 14 to 15-year-old maybe, and they're talking loud. They were talking, believing that they are mental. Isn't that sad? At that age, we were excited. I was excited to discover the world. I like fashion. I have so many interests. It's kind of discover history, the future, and all that. There's a lot of thinking very mental. How sad and demeaning is that?
Yeah.
You brought young people that needs to be nurtured to a position where they believe there's something wrong with them. What future? How evil is that?
Yeah.
And another thing you said, please, now I know better because I have called the police before when they stole my, when I did one of my cookery book and suddenly I came home, my place was ransacked. 29 of my books were taken. So I called the police naively. I called them. They came and abused me. Yeah. The woman was very abusive. First of all, she told me the camera was not working. Then she told me this is not harassment. Then she believed if people wanted, basically believing I was lying. She said, if people wanted to steal in your place, because that was not stealing. This is, how do you call it? Psychology,
Yeah.
He said, if people wanted to steal, they will steal your TV. I have a TV for 25 years.
Yeah.
She could see I don't have a TV, but they are wicked. That's why in the UK now, you will be lucky if you find somebody who trusts them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do not let them into your house. Do not let them, don't trust them. It's kind of safeguard yourself.
Yep. Because they'll try to contract with you to get you put away. So I agree with that.
Exactly. And when I called them, when they came, in fact, it's on my ex account. 2 of them came and it was late at night. And then one of them said to me, I want to go to your bedroom. And when you're tired, that day I had the whole day out and I was not, thinking 100%.
Yeah.
And then he went to the bedroom. I saw him bending down under my bed and text something. Basically, they have put recording under my bed.
Wow.
Yeah. It's very, very, very sick. Very sick. If my ancestors were still alive, they won't, mind you, I don't think they will be shocked. They have their own stories. It's kind of like, they will say, this is England. Yes, it is. It's England, the United Kingdom, where a lot of people run to believing that they're coming for justice, they're coming for protection, they're coming for safeguarding or education, whatever it is that some people obviously come on purpose to come and destabilize and taking the mickey out of the generous people. But a lot of people come for a reason. And justice, I believe, was one of the main ones. People are persecuted. They say, oh, we're going to England to get justice. There's no justice because the local people, the people here is crying for justice.
Yeah.
It's very sad.
It is a sad situation, but like you said, it's ending. The game's over. They can't continue to call people crazy.
No, that game is old. It's an old story and it's an old game.
Yep.
They need to get it into their little head if they still have one. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
It's
if they still have a brain.
Yes. Yeah. It's kind of like what is happening in the US? What is the situation?
It's the same, but I've sent notices to Washington, D.C. And because what people need to know is you are their employer, not the other way around. And once you start knowing who you are and you handwrite in purple, which is a mixture of the maritime color blue, and red, which is the color of blood, which is you are royal. And so and they received those letters today, which means that program is stopping here today. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to step into our power.
Yeah. I see the Mrs. Gabo has resigned, in the US. She was she security? What was her title?
I don't know. I don't pay a whole lot of attention. What was her name again?
Is it Tracy Gabo? The lady who was,
Tulsi. Tulsi Gabbard. Yeah. So she was the head of Department of Homeland Security, I think, DHS. And that's probably a good thing that she resigned because the only thing that Donald Trump is president of is the corporation that's running out of Washington, D.C. Yeah.
Wow.
He's not the president of the American Republic. Yeah.
The people.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the same what's going on here. It's chaos. We have a new prime minister 1 week, it's not elected, but it's chaos, huh? Yeah, it is chaos.
Yeah.
I believe Kimberly is like, I believe a lot of targeted individuals believe the same. Is like only God can save us from this nightmare, from this horrible situation, horrible nightmare. We just keep praying.
Yep. And you have to stand up because, and if you don't, let them know that you are their employer, then we're just laying down and taking it, which is not what the Most High Heavenly Father wants us to do. He's wanting us to step into our power and tell these people that we know who we are and that they are subservient to us.
Yeah. Totally. And this lady was telling me when I'm talking to her, God will. Then I said, yes, God will help us. God will think. But even in the Bible says so, that you have to do your part.
Yes.
You have to do your part and he will help you too. So there's no magic wand. We have to do the part. And I believe together, that word together, they use it a lot. And when they say together, are they talking about you? they're talking about them because they are together. We have to remember that we have our together, and there's more of us than them, and together we can make the change.
Yes, that is true.
We can.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of things, I'll tell you, around the world. I've seen a lot of stuff, but now it's like I'm fighting for my own life.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I used to work with international development work, violence against women, displaced women and children and whatever. And I was thinking, wow, I was their voice. I was standing up for them, voicing for them, speaking for them. Now I have to do it for myself.
Yeah. Let's unite, people. Let's take down the Gestapo.
To be honest with you, the world is more beautiful than we think. I've seen it. There's some amazing people out there.
Yeah.
Lots of good, amazing people, but the concentration is on those wicked one and bad one. But there's some amazing people. I keep meeting them all the time. Yeah. And some people are just naively floating into this world, not knowing, nothing what is going on. I thank you. I thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Giving that opportunity. And there are more people in the UK now that will talk. And as I told you before, I'm seeing that lady tomorrow, and I'll get her to contact you. Her story is interesting.
Yeah.
23 years. 23 years.
That's a nightmare.
Injuries. Crazy. Yeah. Very intelligent, very brilliant. Can't even work.
Yeah. Well, share my information with her, and thank you again for coming on. It was great having you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you so much, for everything you're doing. God is great, and God bless.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you for listening to the Unveiling Shadows podcast. I hope today's episode has shed light on the experiences that too often remain hidden. If you or someone you know has a story to share, please reach out to me. Remember, you're not alone and your voice matters. Follow me on social media and subscribe to the podcast for more inspiring stories. Until next time, stay strong and keep unveiling the shadows.